Alright, another game here. This time it is with Edric versus Daxos of Miletus. Creature I have never faced as a legend. Actually, I think I've played it one other time, but I kind of ran the guy over in a couple of turns and didn't get to see it in action. And I've been playing with the Edric deck a little bit more. My friend Nate has been working on it, making some adjustments, so I've made some adjustments in concert with his suggestions, including adding Deranged Hermit and Masticore, of all things, actually. He's really bullish on Masticore, saying that it solves a lot of the deck's problems, and I definitely acknowledge that it does deal with opposing small dudes pretty well, and certainly gives you an outlet for lots of colorless mana. I just am concerned about the relatively clunky casting cost. I suspect that he's going to have enough games where he draws it and finds it unwieldy that he doesn't want to use it, but for now, we're trying it out. Anyway, he mulliganed to 5, but gets quite a draw anyway. And I am just a little land shy here, although I do have my green guys. Unfortunately, I can't cast either of my green guys on turn 1. But if you're going to mulligan, this is the kind of start you get. Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, Serra Ascendant. 2 colors of mana. Pretty damn good. I can't say I agree with the clamping your Ascendant and not the core duelist right there, especially when you only have 1 card in hand, but whatever. And I can't say I agree with the whole forgetting to play Wasteland thing. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Maybe I was just a little bit perturbed about not having blue mana. As you will see, that becomes a rather intense problem this game. So he smashes me for 7 with this lifelink degenerate thing. Clamps his guy correctly. Then he plays this over his commander, which is sort of an interesting choice. Augury Adept. It's just one of those cards that's totally garbage unless your opponent is in a situation like me where you have almost no land and no creatures of consequence out, and then it's really good. And then he clamps his Ascendant again, which again I totally don't agree with. I think clamping the Augury makes much more sense. But I've been sandbagging this Crypt for the perfect occasion, and there it is. Jitte shows up right at the right time, which allows me to equip my relatively useless Goblin Raider and send it in. And he chooses to block, which I'm not sure I agree with either. I mean, I guess it shuts off my mana, prevents me from using Arbor twice, but it does allow me to keep a counter on the Jitte, which is quite nice. And that's going to matter in a little while. So he doesn't attack that turn, which is also a little bit questionable. I mean, I guess his plan is that he doesn't want to me to attack back for free and get more counters, but whatever. We've got a 7/7 and our 7/5 lifelink guy in play. Who cares? So I play this dude. And I'm actually doing this purely, like equipping my Boreal Druid purely on as a defensive countermeasure and hoping that he's dumb enough to attack me. Because I don't have any openings right now. I'm so in such a bad spot for a lack of blue. I'm just trying to kind of buy as much time as possible and trying to get up to 7, hopefully get a blue mana source, which allows me to Cyclonic Rift and kind of reset the situation. And there he goes. He attacks me with this guy. Completely amazing for me. Which allows me to block and pump, killing off his commander and getting 2 more counters on my Jitte. Pretty incredible. And he has no follow-up at all. He doesn't replay his guy. I figure he's playing with some sort of a counterspell, but I don't really have the luxury of doing anything else. And I play the new guy in the deck, Deranged Hermit. I got to agree with Nate. This thing just seems tailor-made for what the Edric deck is trying to accomplish. The fact that you get, at a minimum, 4 guys with it to exploit, to abuse opposition in Cradle and, of course, Edric for just 5 mana is pretty insane. And, of course, it's a ton of power in creatures too for just 5. But he is unperturbed, smashes me down to 15, and plays this rather random guy, and equips it 3/2. I guess it's just more Jitte defense. And I finally draw a land, 14 cards down. Unfortunately, it's a land that doesn't make blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 1 mana short anyway, being able to do Cyclonic Rift, and very, very quickly running out of time here. The Jitte buys me a little bit of time, but this thing's hitting so hard still that there's no way I can keep pace with it. So I play Edric. Got 1 green untapped. Going in. He does the exact block that I want him to do. I'm able to break the clamp. And pump my Dryad. Or pump my Druid up to 3/3. Kills the wind guy. And I've got more counters and 4 cards. And I'm sure going to draw a land here, right? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4. Nothing. Pretty unbelievable. So now I've got 1 attack step left. At least I have Cloud of Fairies in my hand. Albeit no way to actually cast Cloud of Fairies despite having a Mox Diamond in play. But I do get to draw a ton of cards here, which is quite nice. Zenith. Zenith at least gives me an emergency Bird of Paradise as a blocker. So having this in my hand actually gives me a lot of flexibility on the turn, given that I have it as a last-ditch emergency. If in fact something bad happens during attack and I'm not able to draw any extra cards. So we're not going to send an Edric here. This white scares me, and a condemn would be utterly disastrous. If you were to condemn during my attack step, I would lose the ability to draw cards. So I'm just assuming he's got condemn. Good if he doesn't. Okay, so here we go. I'm drawing what, 5 more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm drawing 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes you just gotta comment on the random RNG of Magic. 25 cards down now. I have failed to draw. Well, I drew 1 land in my. I guess I had Arbor in my opening draw, but I have not drawn a single blue land this entire game, except for this relatively situational clunky thing. So look at that. No blue. I can't even cast Cloud of Fairies right now, but we do have some alternatives. I do have a regrowth, I guess, too. So I say, oh my god, no lands, 0. But we do have Skull Clamp, so surely we're going to draw lands that way. Clamp a Squirrel. Cradle. Badass. And as much as I would love to play Mox Diamond right now, the Cradle offers so much more potential. So I'm going to play that. And he says, the land. That is the land to draw right now. Taps for 6. I'm going to cast this guy in the hope that I get a random blue land off the top, like a fetch land or just an island. But no, I get days. That's okay. So I've got 6. I'm going to clamp that guy. Finally, there's a land. Play the diamond. Cast Cloud of Fairies. Untap Cradle and Pendlehaven. So now I've got tons of mana. I'm going to clamp some more. Because I really want to get another island here. I have a long-term plan. Just clone the Mox Diamond, throwing away another land. Gives me more blue. Snap his guy, so I don't even take any damage next turn. Even though I've got 5 counters on the Jitte and can effectively go to 11, I'd rather not take potentially 9 between his attack and the other thing. Plus I can force the 1/1 when it comes back out if he recasts it, which is what my plan is. So play that guy and play Masticore. Play Sword. Play an elf. I figure if he's got Supreme Verdict, he's got Supreme Verdict. I've still got Masticore going in a full hand against basically an empty board. So I should be able to play Edric in relatively short order and go to work with it in the Jitte. So if he does have Supreme Verdict, it's not the end of the world. I can counterspell anything else. I'm going to throw away the days. So going back to his turn, I expect that he just does nothing here. Figuring I have enough mana to just waste his guy with Masticore now because I've got... How many guys in play? 9. So this makes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I can do 8 with Masticore, so that thing is dead. But at least recast it. And I think he's just figuring I'm going to die to my Crypt during upkeep. But I got Umezawa's Jitte in play, and it does everything. So I just gain 4 during upkeep. And take 3, of course. But I'm still alive. I'm going to keep Edric back again because I don't want to fight over Condemn in case he has it. Probably should have equipped with my sword here. Not that it really matters a whole lot, given how loaded up my hand is getting. Now I've got a remand also. So I play a fetch land, and with that, my opponent times out, having been soundly beaten by this comeback. Pretty wacky, cool game. Definitely was facing down some hellacious stuff early on with very, very few resources, but somehow, thanks to Jite and a couple of misplays on his part, it allowed me to get back in the game and take it. Hope you enjoyed it. I've got a few more to record. See you soon.